Shabbat Shalom and Hag Sameach. I'm Linda Bernstein. It's been about a year since we all sat in the congregation Beth Shalom sanctuary together. I miss leading services beneath the lofty ceilings, the Aron Kodesh with its velvet-covered Torahs, and friendly faces at Kiddush waiting in line for lox and bagels. Even the biting Richmond District fog that chills the entryway and deck would be welcome at this point after a year of life restrictions. Perhaps most of all, I miss the red glow of the Ner Tamid that dutifully hovers over us on Shabbat, Yom Tov, and all the days in between. Deep down, I know it's just a red-filtered light bulb, but I like to think of it as something more than that. A little like the Olympic flame that never goes out, that gets passed around the world. In fact, if I were to enter any synagogue across the world, the flame of the Ner Tamid would welcome me and provide a sense of continuity with all Jews. How do we make sure the light never goes out, especially now when we cannot congregate together, even in our own synagogues? In our Parsha this week, Tetzaveh, which describes in great detail the prescriptions for the tabernacle, clothing and behavior of priests, the opening line reads, Ata Tetzaveh et b'nei Yisrael, v'yikhu elecha, shemen zayit zach katit lamaor, leha'alot ner tamid. And you shall command the children of Israel that they bring to you pure olive oil beaten for the light, to cause a lamp to burn continually. The Ner Tamid, the eternal light, was for the Israelites at the heart of the tabernacle. It was a reminder of God's presence during their journey. It also served as a beacon, a source of guidance, support, and inspiration. The Israelites were transformed from living in slavery to living as free people, with God's covenant at the center of their nation. Each step, guided by the Ner Tamid, lit their path to freedom. Rabbi Jordana Cherno Reeder points out that the Ner Tamid also serves as a reminder to the Israelites of the promises made to God when He chose us. God asks us to be a light unto the nations, an or lagoyim. We have a responsibility to live our lives in an exemplary fashion, looking out for the poor and widowed, leaving a portion of our crop for the needy at the corner of our field, and doing acts of gimilut chasadim, loving kindness toward each other. Rabbi Neil Borovitz wrote in the Jewish Standard, quote, the Ner Tamid, the eternal light, is not only an affirmation of the presence of God, but also a confirmation of the presence of a Jewish community. If there are not Jews tending to the Ner Tamid, the light will go out. In biblical days, someone had to bring the oil. In modern times, where electric light bulbs have replaced olive oil, someone has to change the bulb, and someone or some community has to pay the electric bill. Rabbi Sylvia Rothschild of England noted that the command here is communal. Each of us has a responsibility, for an eternal light belongs to the people, not the priesthood. She points out that this first mitzvah of the tabernacle reminds us of the first words of God at creation, Yehi Or, let there be light. The echo of Yehi Or points out that we too must fulfill our role in the creation, maintenance, and continued betterment of our world. Every day we must tend to this work. The oil for the menorah must be absolutely pure, reflecting the purity requirement of Aaron and his sons as Kohanim. People must bring the prepared oil that is pure, uncontaminated by jealousy, selfishness, pride, or greed. This is our job and no one else's. Each of us has the responsibility to do it for ourselves, to keep a spark alive in our own souls and in our own lives. She also noted that the verb used to describe kindling the light is not the normal one for lighting a flame, lahadlik, but instead the Bible talks of laha'alot ner tamid, to cause to ascend a light continually. Laha'alot literally means to cause to ascend, that the wick had to allow the flame to ascend by itself. It had to arise not through the actions of the priests, but on its own. At the same time, the translation emphasizes that you shall bring the pure olive oil beaten for the light. It is the people who are held responsible for preserving the fuel for the light. It takes a community to grow the olives and process them properly, and to bring them to the lamp to keep the fire burning day in and day out. I think it's important to think of the Ner Tamid as dynamic, not static. It is a torch that has to be passed and spread among us and to the next generations for it to continue to burn. We who are in a kind of communal diaspora right now prevented from being together on Shabbat and holidays, have to remember to rekindle our internal lights each and every day with hope, through study of Torah, by doing good deeds for each other, and kindling a love of Jewish learning in our children, so that they will continue to light the spark of Judaism in their lives and then in their children. We must conscientiously pass the torch to the next generation. This is the true way to cause the Ner Tamid, the eternal lamp, to burn continually for ourselves, our community, and the generations to come. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Please join me now for an original Sim Shalom.